You know what's funny? I'm around 6'3", give or take almost 6'4". And if you know anything about tall people, especially tall women, a lot of us love to shrink ourselves, and without even realizing, you start slouching, you bend yourself smaller in photos, you lower your voice, you try so much to not stand out. And now I know you're probably thinking like, what is height got to do with this video, and what has it got to do with me? I'm 5'2". What are you trying to say? However, I'm going to use height as an analogy for this video, because physically shrinking yourself eventually becomes emotional. Nhom is all I need, yeah, it's all I need, yeah. So lately I've been reflecting on some things that made me cringe a little bit. Not like sinful things, I'm not that wild, okay? A little bit crazy, not that wild. Just like moments where I completely become like uncomfortable with my own presence. I call myself trying to become like constantly smaller, less bubbly, less expressive, less joyful, less visible. Meanwhile, that's actually literally who I am. I'm not a quiet person. I came out of the womb this way. My mama can tell you, my whole village can tell you, because they'll be like, she crazy, you know. I ain't crazy, but you know, as long as you know that you're not crazy, you're good to go. I smile big, I laugh loudly, I am so expressive and naturally take up space when I walk into a room. And for a moment, I somehow started questioning myself. Am I doing too much? Should I tone myself down? And this is the dangerous part of it all. When you constantly question yourself and your nature and your presence, eventually you start like abandoning yourself, abandoning who you are, not because God told you to, not because you lack wisdom, but because visibility can make you uncomfortable. And the truth is, discomfort is not discernment. That sentence changes everything for me, because sometimes we label fear as wisdom, or like intimidation as wisdom. Sometimes we call shrinking quote unquote humility, but humility and hiding are not the same thing. They're not even anywhere close. You can be kind and still be visible. You can be humble and still take up space. You can honor people without actually disappearing. And I had to remind myself of that recently. So here are a few things that I immediately started doing the moment I felt like I was shrinking myself, because I will feel it within me, and outwardly you'll be like, you start seeing it. I don't know if you've experienced that. Comment in the comment section below. Tell me, when was the last time you actually find yourself shrinking yourself inside you, and then your body follows. So number one, I asked myself, if I cannot carry my presence properly, who will? Follow the version of you that you are willing to stand in. And I realized I was waiting for permission to fully exist, permission to speak fully, permission to show joy fully, permission to be seen fully. But confidence grows when you stop negotiating your existence. Clock that, please. You know what? I'm finding myself a little sassy today. I think it must be the nails, because I normally don't have my nails. So number two, I prayed for myself. Not performative prayers, but actual real prayers. The prayers went like this: God, help me to stop shrinking out of fear. Teach me how to be humble without shrinking myself. Sometimes the fear is fear of visibility, fear of judgment, fear of making people uncomfortable, or so you think that you're going to shrink other people. And I think you become so aware of other people's discomfort that you slowly start disconnecting from your own self. Number 3, I stopped interpreting every discomfort as a warning sign. This one is a really big one because sometimes it feels like that. Not every uncomfortable feeling means that you are out of alignment. Sometimes sort of like growth feels uncomfortable because you are stretching into truth. A lot of us has become so used to like constantly shrinking that fullness now feels so wrong. That right there is deep, so I want you to clock that. Number 4, I started correcting my posture again even more. I worked on it like through like my teenage years and all of that. I did work on my posture. I used to slouch a lot, but then there was like moments I found myself like that I started shrinking visibly, emotionally, and then I found myself shrinking. So I started fixing my posture again. I'd be like, nah, I'm going to stand like a tall, gorgeous African woman that I am, just like you. Well, you might be a man, so a bit different, but same thing. You are the conqueror, you are the champion, the lion is here. You know what it is, you know that song, how it goes. I don't know how it goes, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And so you want to find yourself in a place where you're standing and you are correcting your posture and not slouching yourself, because that people can smell that, people can feel that, and nobody wanted to be around someone who's not confident. You know, I had to tell myself constantly, stand properly, look up properly, speak clearly, not to dominate the room, not to impress people, but because I fully deserve to exist just like you. The thing is this, I had a conversation with quite a number of people over the years around like how people talk. Like some people talk, some people don't talk, you know, all of that. And I tried to explain to a couple of friends of mine that even if you're a bubbly person, you talk a lot, I still need the other person who speaks less to engage, because it's unfair that you find yourself not talking, right, in a conversation, not engaging in a conversation. They're like, oh no, I just want you, you know, to do your thing. So in a sense, they would have actually shrunk themselves. But me on this other hand, I'm like, dude, I'm tired of holding a conversation. So it means that when we are both confidently taking up space and being fully confident in who we are, then we can create beautiful relationships with our friends, our families, our loved one, because then we are both contributing to the atmosphere. We're contributing to this amazing space, amazing capacity. But if one person isn't doing that, then the atmosphere is still feel quite imbalanced. And number 5, I stopped apologizing for qualities that were never sinful to begin with. Because sometimes you'll be like, nah man, I'm sinning. You might think it's pride, you might think it's all of that, but being joyful is not a crime. The Bible says that the joy of the Lord is my strength. And we can go on and talk about joy and how it helps up and how it is a strength. Being expressive is not arrogant. Being visible is not evil. And I think some of us genuinely need to hear it. I needed to hear it. I need to hear this video again for my own self, because it somehow appears that you are being prideful, arrogant, but the truth is you still need to be visible. You do not need to disappear in order to be loved. Like, think about it for that moment, because some of us have learned survival through invisibility, but healing will require visibility again. And honestly, I am still learning in real time. I still catch myself, I'm still even catching myself, shrinking myself constantly and all of that, and I have to sort of kind of snap back, because now there's a discernment that goes with that. You know, the slouching, the over editing myself, the self-silencing, instead of immediately assuming that maybe I'm too much, or maybe I've just become unfamiliar with taking up healthy space that absolutely changes everything. So if this video finds you in a season where you've been shrinking yourself, smaller dreams, smaller voice, smaller presence, smaller joy, I just want you to remember, take up your space, not loudly for attention, not arrogantly for ego, but truthfully, because if you keep abandoning yourself to make everybody comfortable, eventually you will not recognize yourself anymore, and that is a very, very painful thing. So stand up properly, speak up properly, exist properly. You are allowed to be present in the life God has given you. And maybe that's actually the real question that I want to leave you with. What part of yourself have you been shrinking just to fit into rooms that were never asking you to disappear in the first place? And maybe, just maybe, that's why so many of us are so exhausted, because shrinking yourself every day is so tiring. And the truth of the matter is, some of us have been slouching emotionally way long before we slouch physically.